Hello and welcome to That Man. This is technically some manga as we delve into the world of Doujinshi, and that's why I was so happy when Irodori Aqua contacted me, because they are setting up a brand new service which is getting us some pure and fun romance Doujinshi. That's right. So they already have a hentai kind of side of things, which I'm going to have a look into later on, if you know what I mean. But they are now focusing on getting some underappreciated indie doujinshi to ourselves. Now, most people, when they think of doujinshi, they think of hentai, and that's perfectly okay. A good significant portion of doujinshi is hentai, and I'm not going to lie, most of your favourite artists, they did porn before they did the series. That's right. If you think of titles such as Dr. Stone, Prison School, Food Wars, even stuff like Dragon Maid and Monster Musume, they all started off originally as doujinshi. That's correct. All of them artists, they worked on doujinshi. Why? Well, it's quite simple. Doujinshi largely work as a kind of creative outlet for artists because, let's face it, when you have a publishing deal, you are tied down into things, and I'm not going to lie, for a lot of series, for a lot of mangaka out there, the money brought in by manga just doesn't make things meet. We already know about the high demand and the high stress life, and when you're already producing a title that's already out in the public, it's quite difficult when that title isn't gaining enough traction and isn't selling quite enough. Doujinshi allow artists to kind of cast off their limitations and do what they really need to do. We also have to take into the fact that, let's face it, once you have a publishing deal, you are tied down into their envision. So for example, Shonen Jump has a well-known editorial department, and they will focus on making things in their vision. So as things go down, the original vision is possibly not what the original mangaka decided they want to do. They've had to turn things, they've had to curb things to fit a demographic rather than just casting off and do what they want. Unless you're Ichiro Oda, then you're probably just getting away with doing whatever you want, really. So with doujinshi, artists can express themselves a little bit more clearly than they would be able to as if they were just doing a normal series. This means that they can express themselves a little bit better and connect with the fans who just wanted to pick up the artist's work and get the artist's true vision of stuff. And for me, that is a lot better. Now, doujinshi does take time, and if you are already managing a high-profile manga, you're not necessarily going to have the time and availability to just put out many doujinshi all at once. This is why doujinshi tend to be shorter, one-shot kind of titles. A normal doujinshi will be around 30 to 40, sometimes possibly even 50 pages, sometimes a lot less. And the reason being is that, well, it takes time and effort. This isn't a huge publishing title, so they're going to have to bring everything on their own back. And that's kind of why things are, let's face it, a little bit more expensive than you would expect from a normal manga. And one of the important things is that, well, let's face it, doujinshi goes more into the artist's back pocket. If you really like a mangaka, you are supporting them more with doujinshi than you are potentially with manga. Now, that's not to say that you aren't supporting them with manga. As long as you're buying them from a legal source, that money will go back into them. However, if you think about it, mangaka, they're going to be doing, well, it might be part of Shonen Jump or Kodansha. Well, it's going to go through to them, and it's also going to go through the translators, the typesetters, the letterers, the editors. It's all going to get funneled into one thing. So when you're spending about £7 on a mangaka, well, let's face it, they're probably going to get £1 or £2 from that, if that. Doujinshi, it's going to get, you're pretty much going to get most of that money because there's a lot less in between people, and it's just going to be a kind of, well, we've got the license, this is how much you're going to get from this license, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to get too in terms with that is for another video. So that made me so excited when Irodori Aqua contacted me to know and give me a few, well, let's say sneak peeks, and I'm not gonna lie, some of these titles have got me really excited for more. Now, most of you guys already are aware that I like romantic comedies. I love slice of life. Titles such as Aho-Girl, Monster Musume, Prison School, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, they are the type of titles that I enjoy talking about. So the first title I want to talk about is Twotiming Fair and Square. This is by Hiroyuki, and they are most commonly known for Aho-Girl. Now, I know I haven't really talked about Aho-Girl much on this channel, but it is an absolute fantastic series I would really recommend you guys check out. It's a slice of life comedy, and it's about a girl who is too stupid to exist. That's right, a girl too stupid to exist. However, in Twotiming Fair and Square, that's in the background. We still have that absolute fantastic deadpan comedy that we would expect from Hiroyuki. And you know what? It was an absolute interesting read. In Twotiming Fair and Square, the protagonist is confessed by an adorable, cute girl. Unfortunately for him, he's already gone out with another beautiful girl. Unable to turn her down, he goes, "We'll work it out." That's right, we'll work it out. He approaches his long-standing girlfriend and just goes, "Look, I want to two-time you with this girl." And she's just like, "What on earth are you on about? Are you absolutely insane?" And he's just like, "No." Have you seen her face? She's absolutely adorable. And this opens up a whole world of possibilities in that the girlfriend begrudgingly agrees to it, and the other girl is just so adorable that they can't say no to her. So one thing links to another, and in a single day the protagonist finds himself moving in with two girls, one begrudgingly accepting the whole of this farce, the other just really excited to be with him. And honestly, it was a series that I wasn't sure about. I wasn't entirely sure how this was going to work, because at first I was just like, you know what, this isn't going to be my kind of thing. But I'm not going to lie, I really laughed at a lot of it. It was so stupid. It was one of those titles that you kind of, I don't know, I was kind of like, this is so stupid, it's never going to work. But it kind of did. And that's one of those series that I really want to enjoy. One of those series that makes you expect the unexpected and makes you kind of just like, yeah, this shouldn't work, but it does. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. And now, one of the things I really enjoyed was the artwork with it. You could tell it was a doujinshi. You could tell it wasn't ultimately refined by a ton of assistants and stuff like that, but that's what made it even more charming. And with the short story, it was very easy to digest. It was very easy to just get into it and just enjoy it. Now, it is kind of a Yuri kind of manga, because obviously it's a menage a trois, but it was one that I really enjoyed and really wanted to get more into. The next title is also by Hiroyuki, and it is Of Girls, Love and Money. Now, this is a pure Yuri romance comedy, and obviously, as you can expect, is on the LGBTQ plus spectrum. Now, out of all of the doujinshi that I've read so far, this one was personally my second favourite. Yeah, we're going to leave the best to last. But this was my second favourite. This told the story of two girls who were best friends, who kind of just like, they're like, well, what do you want for your dreams? What's your dreams? And one of them was just like, I just want to be pampered. I just want to live off a rich girl and just get paid loads of money and buy it for doing nothing. And the other one's just like, really, that's all you want? And they're like, yeah, that's all my desire in life. I just want to be pampered and be rich. And she was just like, okay. And so starts this wacky romantic comedy about two girls. One is essentially just sponging off the other, and the other one's just giving her pocket money. And she always finds a way to sponge off Miho, who is the breadwinner. The breadwinner making a decent amount of money on her romantic manga. However, Sachiko is just more than happy. He's just like, well, I'm going to spend $1,000 a day on gacha games, because of course you need all of those characters in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and all of those Fate Zero characters. You know, I'm down with the gacha kids. And I found this one absolutely hilarious. All these ways Sachiko was going to find in order to manage to sponge more money. It really made me more appreciative of titles such as Nichijo, Azumanga Daioh, Aho-Girl, as you can expect, and most importantly, City. Titles that are also in the whole 4-koma deadpan comedy series, and you know what, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this over-the-top title that, honestly, it had a lot of really nice romantic moments, because they were just like, well, you're sponging off us, but I can't say no to that face. In fact, that's a lot of stuff with Hiroyuki. We can't say no to that face. Now, before I go on to the other titles, I want to talk about one more Hiroyuki title, which isn't currently out, but I've already got my eyes on it, because Angel-Girl, which looks to be a direct spin-off from Aho-Girl, is coming later in 2019, so before the end of the year. So yes, that means it's the next few weeks, and honestly, I'm so excited because, like I said, Aho-Girl is an absolute fantastic title. It's so hilarious, but Angel-Girl, yeah, give me more Aho-Girl. I will happily consume that and pick it up when it's released. Next up, I want to talk about Recicourt Kids and the Splish Splash City. This is brought to us by Yochimachi Meme. I hope that I've pronounced that right. I apologise if I've not. This feels like an entirely traditional children's book. That's right. It's about a few kids who, well, they just have to go on this little adventure to Tokyo. However, they come across the Splish Splash City, a city that has been entirely submerged underwater. Now, this one was interesting because the art style for this was very amazing. I was absolutely blown away by the art style with this. And it was one that was completely different from what I was expecting. Not so much a romantic manga, but instead a title that just shows the beauty of a post-apocalyptic world. In the Splish Splash City, it's seen through the eyes of a child, and using a glowing firefly lantern, they have to explore this Splish Splash City and just enjoy the world around them. It's one of those ones where it's a fantasy adventure, it's very artistic, but it's very adorable. The younger sister is essentially another Yotsuba. You know, those small, adorable children who you can't help but absolutely enjoy seeing what they're doing. That was the real highlight of it. It was a beautiful manga, it was a beautiful title, and it looked absolutely fantastic. But the real joy was the characters. These three children who are just in this world, one of them just being so hopeless with life, and the others having a few scars that they have to bear. It's one of those ones that it's going to be ultimately tragic, but I'm so excited to be along for the ride. Finally, I want to talk about Love Letter for My Love, Then and Now by Yuki Sato. This was my absolute favourite from this, and honestly, I'm so excited to read more because it is a romantic comedy, and the characters are a little bit older, which for me, that I just like it when they're a little bit older and it's like more adult. It's more essentially a josei. So this tells the story of a young man, Kazuma, Kazuya, who has fallen in love with a young girl called Miki. While clearing out some things, she comes across a stack of love letters, and she says, who the for? Was there somebody you liked beforehand? And he ultimately reveals that they were for her. He's always loved her. He's always been head over heels in love with her. And we see the day-to-day lives of their past. They're already together, we already know that. And if you like your romantic comedies, if you like your slice of life stuff, this is the absolute perfect title for you guys, because it's one that, it was just so nice, it was just so beautiful, it was so, you could tell they were so in love with each other. She was kind of like, oh, I didn't think you remembered me. But he's just like, no, I always loved you. Because in the past he hid that he knew of her. And she was like, oh, I don't really know who you are. Because in the past he was, let's face it, a little bit overweight. And this whole story, this whole love story between them, it was so beautifully done. And honestly, I can't recommend it enough. It's an absolute fantastic title that I personally recommend, and is the absolute pinnacle of the ones that they have released so far, Irodori. And there you have it, 4 absolutely fantastic titles that I'm personally going to say, give them a look, give them a chance, because the end of the day, the cheap and the nice and affordable, but you are going to enjoy each and every one of them. And thank you again so much for giving me the time to be able to look into these, because yeah, they're fantastic. Guys, check out Irodori Aqua, check out Irodori Comics. They're doing a lot of great work in order to get a lot of great content out there. You can do a lot worse. Check them out, check out some of the titles that they've got coming out. So far, all of them have been fantastic reads and a whole lot of fun. You won't be disappointed. And this has been That Man, that's me merchandise, and this has been a story about manga. Thanks for coming, and thanks again for staying. Let me know in the comments what doujinshi you like, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.